His old Mac keeps faith, and it keeps it out of sight. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. You know that shot glass where they steep bacon, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy gloves though, where's my key? So there's never a trace of rain. Let it get good now on a sidewalk.
You know, that's my favorite. It's my favorite. It's Bobby Darin, 1970, bringing us in live. Someone sneaking, oh ho, around the corner, ho ho, hey. You know, we're going to get to that in just a minute because we're going to talk more about NFN. Sherry Knott, I got some great information for you today, courtesy Merkin Group, John Navarro. Make sure you check the description links if you've got collection needs. They will help you out. I got a little bit. I got my rag here. I got to wipe all that egg off my face, folks. That's right. I did something silly. I confused two companies in social media. I've sent apologies out. I apologized on the thread. I confused Bluestone with Brookstone. I apologize. Apparently, both companies have former NFN employees. What I'm finding out from the employees is Sherry Knott, the worm she is, kept every department kind of away from each other. There was no communication between departments. Everybody I have talked to that has worked there, if you're a former employee, I can provide anonymity. If you would go on the record, the courts would love to hear from you. But every employee that I have talked to, every former NFN employee I have talked to, stipulates the same thing. They all say the same thing, and they're all coming in different directions. So I know this must be true. And I mean, when you think about it, this is maybe why there's not a lot of information out there. Sherry Knott kept everybody separated, and there was no communication. How do you operate a company with no communication between departments? She did it to the tune of $100 million in the wind. There's about $100 million missing. Have you filed your 1099? In closing today in our Business 101 section, I'm going to touch on some information for you. But to Bluestone, for the confusion, my humble apologies. And I will say this, and right now everybody is recruiting again. Bluestone, they're trying to do the right thing. They're providing some kind of quote-unquote training, but that makes you an employee. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, that decision was a California court. The California court based the decision upon IRS and Department of Labor rules. That's federal. That's every state in the country must abide by those rules. Think about it. Think about it, think about it, think about it. Guardian, Brookstone, and Bluestone all have former employees. My understanding, that is why Guardian stepped in. A bunch of employees went over, took the workload, took everything with them, and Guardian stepped in and said, hey, we'll pick it up and we'll start providing. Is there, I don't know, man. I don't know. All I'll say is Eric Miller has known for a very long time what's going on. That he's complicit. He is one of the people that have made the industry the way it is, a nightmare, all by himself. He allowed the parlaying. He allowed the pyramiding. He encouraged the pyramiding. Why does he encourage it? To bring in new members? His salary. He's doing a non-profit job to the tune of $120,000 plus a year. When he started, it was $35,000. Must be doing a good job. MSI in the news, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not being paid, it might be time to file liens. It might be time to force involuntary bankruptcy on them because too many people are saying they're not getting paid. The money's getting stretched out. It's after 90 days. If it's after X amount of time and it violates your contract agreement, lien the properties. And this is coming from people that have always backed MSI and have always told me, no, man, there's something else going on there. This is from people that have had a very good working relationship being paid. All of a sudden, they are not being paid anymore. And the scuttlebutt throughout the industry, ladies and gentlemen, is MSI has become insolvent. Time to lien your properties. Last week we reported that MSI was behind a couple companies that were doing the inspections. They weren't able to pay people, and they weren't able to pay. They said, hey, we can't pay you because MSI hasn't paid us. That is an illegal contract, number one. Okay. Number two, never sign a contract that says you get paid when I get paid. What kind of nonsense is that? Cut that person out and go straight to the source to get paid. Just me. Apparently Northside, Josh over at Northside has, I guess there was some weekly stuff going on there, some payments not being made. They cut ties to the company not making the payments. They you know, what happens, here's what happens when you get all these companies subbing work. They'll have 3, 4, 5 clients. One of them will be pushing 80% of the volume. Well, when that 80% of the volume company doesn't pay all those other companies, that money starts getting used to take care of business. You don't get paid. They got to keep the lights on, just like I got to, I ask for donations to help keep the lights on. It has to be done. Those kind of bills have to be paid if you're going to be a business. However, apparently Josh over there at Northside has cut ties. I know they're gobbling everybody up, but they have cut the ties. So one of the other things that I'm hearing scuttlebutt on, public adjustments. Is what the members of NAMFS do on bids public adjustments? And I want to talk to you about the bid process for just a minute here today. We'll get to that again in our Business 101 section, but I got to talk about a couple other things first. Chicago Tribune is reporting that Chicago, home of Barack, I'm a traitor homo with a man tranny in the White House, Obama, wants $200 million for a library of our money, or taxpayers' money. He wants $200 million to build a library in Chicago, but Chicago is reporting they have, are you ready for this, the highest default rate in the country. The highest underwater rate in the country. If your home is valued at less than what your loan is, you're considered underwater. 20% of the homes underwater are more than double. The rate is 15.5% in Chicago. Across the country, it's 9.1%. Chicago, home of Barack, I'm a traitor, Obama. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. Mortgage insurance. Do you have mortgage insurance? I want you to think about this for just a minute. Mortgage insurance. You get a 1099 because they're saying if they foreclose on you, the bank gives you a 1099. We got cheated out of the money. They give you a 1099 for that. If you get cheated out of money, why aren't you filing a 1099 on these people cheating you out of the money? If the bank can do it, you can do it. Think about that for a minute. Quit being lame here, ladies and gentlemen. You have to stop this. Labor's the only one that can. Labor has to start coming together. They're the only ones that can stop this. Mortgage insurance. The bank insures your mortgage so they get paid. So why are they issuing you a 1099? They're double clutching. Double clutching. Just like a company that says, we will pay you minus. because they're not paying you and taking their percentage off of what they bill. If they're billing $300, but they're only paying you $100 and taking 20%, double clutching. And it's happening all throughout the industry. They've been making a thing about it. Let's see here. Mark Beecham is reporting out of Atlanta, Georgia, reports that he is issuing a warning on Southern Comfort LLC. Says they're squeezing out the fleas. I guess Southern Comfort LLC, he ain't paying. The guy didn't get paid. He's telling you. That's what it's all about, folks. Share that information so people know to stay away from companies like that. A couple other companies in the spotlight this week, BLM, you know, they right on their thing. They don't do the work. They sub everything out. We had the video last week. Also, Row Enterprises on the thing. And of course, MCS, internal emails have been posted. MCS trying to pay $90 on a $12,000 bill. $90, and Greg Overton asked his supervisor, Bethany Okerman, shall I just tell him to kick rocks, take it or leave it? What should I do, Bethany? What should we do, Bethany? Lien the properties is what I would do. Lien the properties. They owe you $12,000. Tell them to stick the 90 right up where that sun don't shine, ladies and gentlemen. Question of the week comes from Rick Spalding. Is there any Safeguard property contractors in the mid-Michigan area? Safeguard is playing games, pitting crews against each other. I would love to speak to you. We're not organizing a union. We don't need a union. We don't need anything as form of organization of labor, do we, Rick? Do we, labor? Think about it. International Association Field Service Technicians, if that organization is right for you, go talk to them. You got to go talk to them. You got to go talk to them. Of course, you can find all that information on foreclosurepedia.org. Ladies and gentlemen, up to the minute fraud reporting, foreclosurepedia.org. Sometimes I beat him to the punch. It's kind of a pat on the back, a badge of honor when I get out the gate before that guy does. He's pretty good at what he does. Every now and then you know what they say. Even a dog gets a warm piece of sidewalk now and then. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Business 101 brought to you by the Merkin Group. The Merkin Group, of course, Curtis Fort, he's the president. He knows what's going on. John Navarro, he got it going on here. I got a survey. Let's talk about bids for a minute and how companies like Row Enterprises, MCS, with their misclassification of employees, demands you, forces you, rejects your bid because you didn't use one of their systems, one of their software providers. What is it? I don't even pay attention to them. I never did. But here's what a bid is. You call me up. You call A&L Custom Glass and Wood and say, hey, Aaron, I need a mirror rehung on the wall. How much is it going to cost? Well, I take a measurement for you. I calculate how much labor is going to go into it. I go price the material, what I am going to pay for that mirror, for the mastic that goes on the wall, the J-mold, the trim, everything else. I have to go add all those materials up. A rule of thumb for, I don't know, as long as I've been in business, okay, this goes back to back in the 70s when I was in high school. This is what my woodshop teacher told me. I paid $5 for some wood. I made a really nice set of lamps, went out, got lampshades. The lampshades cost me $1 a piece, the cords and everything. I had like $8 into each lamp. And he told me, he goes, so you got $16 in that pair of lamps. I said, yes, sir, I do. He says, okay, here's what you do. You double that number. You double the number 16 to 32. I said, okay. I said, so I charge $32 for it? He goes, no. He goes, what about your time? That was one of my first business lessons. What about your time? I said, well, it took me about 4 hours to do it. He said, $1.85 was minimum wage then, ladies and gentlemen. He said, "Why?" He goes, "That's custom work." He goes, "That's nice work." He goes, you got to charge at least $3 an hour." I said, "Okay." Right? So $12 on top of the 32, it was $44. He said, "Round it off, charge $45 for the pair." That's how a bid gets done. That's how a bid gets done. You don't go into some contractor resource and enter your information so the bid comes out to favor them. You base a bid on your cost of doing business. Not on Contractor Pro, not on some resource base or contractor base or bid base. You do it based on your cost of doing business. I'm going to give you an example. I'm here in the Midwest. I have no idea. I'm grabbing numbers out of the air and I'm going to make this scenario up as we go along. Let's say right here where I am located, somebody has that same issue. They need a mirror put back on the wall. The mirror's it's a 4-foot mirror by 3 foot high, right? So it's a 4x3 piece of mirror. I go price the mirror here, and they want $6 a square foot for the mirror. That's $12. So $72 plus a tax. I'm going to pay $75 for the mirror. Now let's say the same guy in Wichita, Kansas, where Hopper Glass is, goes across the street to Hopper Glass, and he can get that same piece of mirror for $30. Okay? So now you have him getting materials, the same materials I have to pay for. He's going to get that same piece of material for $30. So obviously his bid is going to be about half of what my bid is. But my bid and his bid are both fair. They're both equal under the law, if you look at it that way, because they're based on your cost of doing business. That's how it works, folks. Repair base is not your bid. When they send a bid back to you, that's not your bid, that's their bid. Let them honor the bid. Let them go out in the field. Let them go broke. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. Now, it's time to talk about my favorite girl. I know she's stalking me. I know she's out there. Any day now, I expect to go around the corner and see Shari Knott with her little scowl. You know you set that up so my phone number came up when people Google you, girl. You know you did. January, February, March, April 18th. Shari Knott filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Then a forced bankruptcy was pushed back. 3 companies attached garnishments to NFN and her $1 million home. The court spun around and forced Chapter 11 so people would get paid because there are assets. Are you on the list? Are you on the list? Well, I tell you what. Here's how you get the creditors list. If you are owed money by NFN, the case number is 1816859. And write this number down. I am going to put this number in. Raven Greensburg and Associates is the law firm handling Shari Knott. 973-226-1500. You can ask for Brian Baker or Chad Friedman, and they must, by law, supply you a copy of the bankruptcy and the creditors list. Are you on the list? If you're not on the list, you can get on the list. That is how you do it. This girl has assets. We know Jack Jaffa is behind it. Safeguard is Jack Jaffa. That is assets. That's what assets are. And they got the money, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm hearing once again that Safeguard is behind companies that are doing non-payments. I'm going to ask this again. The Jaffas and Mr. Klein, God rest his soul, pump a lot of money into the Jewish communities. Are they laundering money? That's all I'm going to say. I'm asking a question. It's worth a look-see. Are they laundering money? When you start pushing millions of dollars behind a religious edifice, Money laundering comes to mind. I don't know why. Call me a conspiracy theorist. Call me a nutbag. Call me what you will, but you won't call me late for dinner, and I'm not looking for my money. I am not chasing my money, ladies and gentlemen. File a lien. If you are owed money and Safeguard is behind something, lien the property today and then ask questions tomorrow. That is the safe bet. I hate to go down that road. Because when you go down that road, you can't turn back. You got to go. You got to go. It's like when you get to the fork in the road, you take it. But you got to go down the road once you start down it. And you got to stick to your guns. I don't care what they say. Don't be like Ben Vincent and squeeze out a plea deal and screw all the rest of the vendors out of what happened there with AMS. I'm sorry, Ben, but you were wrong on that. You should have consulted with a couple other people. I was one of the people that would have stood side by side, toe to toe with you on that and went to the mat. I would have never backed down on that. By law, Raven Greensburg and Associates must provide you with a copy of the bankruptcy and the creditors list. That's all you have to do is contact them. Once again, 973-226-1500. Request your copy today so you can start attaching and you can get involved and you can get some type of compensation for what you've been cheated out of and what was stolen from you. There's got to be a lot of people out there. There's got to be a lot of people out there. Keep this in mind. If some of the companies have contacted you and said, hey, will you take a settlement if you remove the liens? That is as far as you want to agree to. You do not want to agree to pursuing any other collection avenues. Only agree to a settlement with them to remove liens. If they say you cannot pursue any other legal avenue of collection, any other form of collection, sue them, because they can't force that on you either unless you agree to it. If they want to make you an offer, that's fine. Keep this in mind. I'm going to use RMS. I'm not picking on RMS, but RMS did step up and say, hey, look, we'll do this. We'll try to help you out. Let's say that you're owed $20,000 and $12,000 of that was in materials. That was in your material cost. Your company is out $12,000 between labor, materials, whatever. That's what you try to settle for, not 20% or $5,000, $4,000 of the $20,000. Negotiate with them. They're making you an offer. They're not saying this is it. Say, hey, look, it cost me more than that to do the work. Don't, I'll negotiate for you. Hell, give me $10. I'll negotiate for you. I'll have fun. But don't get caught up in this is all I can do. Don't get caught up in nothing else. You can't do anything else. That's a bogus settlement. That hurts you. That only protects everybody that stole the money. And that's not who needs to be protected here. You're the one that needs to be protected. So if you're contacted, and just tell them, hey, look, it cost me $12,000. That's what I'm out to do the work for your company. I'll remove the liens if you agree to pay my costs. That's a fair deal. At least you'll be out a little time, a little money, but you'll at least get and recoup costs. If that's not possible, never sign anything from one company. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen, your contract was not with RMS. It was with National Field Network, and Sherry, I'm a thief in the night, not driving her Jaguar while you're struggling to put food on the table for Johnny and Susie this week. You got no shoes on the kids when they go to school. You're having to go to the thrift store and buy a $2 pair of shoes for the kids, while she's driving around a $75,000 car, living in $1 million home. Well, to me, the choice is easy. But if one of these companies that were behind NFN offers a settlement, as long as it does not force you to drop or pursue any other collection angles, it's not a bad deal, because they don't really have to do it. The contract wasn't with you. That said, ladies and gentlemen, the Merkin Group, they'll get I was talking with John Navarro this morning. They will assist. They will do whatever they can to help you collect. And like I said, Curtis and John over there, they'll run an asset check on these places and find out if you got a viable deal. And they're going to do it for free. How do you beat that? You can't beat that, I'm telling you. You can't beat it with the stick. You can't beat free work with the stick. Your work for free. Why not let somebody else do it with the possibility of you getting paid? You've already worked for free. They're going to work for free to see if they can get your money. And then when you get your money, then you get to pay them. A little bit different than I'll pay you when I get paid. No, when they get your money, then you can pay them. That's a pretty good deal from any agency, anybody helping you out right now. You know, it is. And I just don't know what to say. I can't say enough good about that. Those guys over there at the Merkin Group, they really are trying to help folks. And if you got issues with Michael Breeze got an active license in Florida. Homestar has an active license in Florida, ladies and gentlemen. The Merkin Group, John Navarro, Curtis Fort, they'll get you squared away, and they'll do it as fast as they can. Why? Because they need to get paid too. I don't know what to say. If you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the station. That's how it works. I picked up 15 more followers yesterday over there on the Twitter. They're joining me on the GMO campaign, asking the president, his wife, the EPA, the USDA, and the FDA to please get that poison out of our food. We're going to have some good stuff coming up covering this Monsanto trial. 125 people selected for jury selection yesterday on the Monsanto trial over there in San Francisco, California, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to get interesting to see if Monsanto can dodge another bullet that may break that company. We'll find out. We're going to talk more about that on GMO Tuesday. Make sure to tune in to Weekend Wrap. Weekend Wrap, we'll have some more information. I know right now some more stuff will flow in. More stuff will flow in. You can guarantee it on NFN and what's going on in the mortgage field service industry. And if IFAST, IAFST, is right for your company, check them out, iafst.org. Go check the website out. If it's a good fit for your company, hook them up. You never know. You never know. If you can help out, hit the website. Help keep the lights on. You know how it works, folks. Let's have a great day. And hey, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's let Bobby sing us out again, okay?
Lies somebody. Ooh, little light.
One sneaking ho-ho around the corner. Could that someone be old Mac the Knife? Let's have a great day, folks, and let's all be safe out there, huh?
Down by the river, don't you know where cement bag?
Just to move it on down.
Yes, you know that cement is there strictly for the waiting girl. Five's gonna get you down, Mackie is back in town. You have about Louis Miller, he done disappeared, honey. Yeah, the drawn out, everybody jump in with me. All this hard-earned cash. Now Mackie's been right on. Just like a sail. Could it be that I'm not done something rash? Come on.
Come on. Hey, have a great day, folks. Let's all be safe out there, huh?